Hello and welcome to Family Matters. Thank you for joining us. On this program, we discuss various issues that affect family members and individuals. And today we are discussing how to make social media family friendly. To help me talk about this, I have Liz and Mike. Welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So, Liz, what exactly do we mean by social media?
We are basically addressing this as interactive social networks such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, and TV included.
And now, I think one thing we need to look at, because everything that happens in life, usually there's pros and cons to it. So, Mike, why is it important for us to discuss social media?
It's very important because of what impact technology is bringing in human interaction, more especially in families.
Right.
There are negative and also positive impact that we are realizing today.
Right.
And I think it's important for the family to be able to realize what negative impact is coming their way and what positive impact is coming their way.
So, Liz, we're all talking about impact. What are some of the positive uses of social media?
Social media, through technology, has now made communication much faster and easier. You are now able to talk to as many people as you may want in a very inexpensive manner through social media.
I think that's the best part for most people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike.
I think what has happened is that our world has become smaller. In other words, I can, in terms of real time, interact with all my family members, regardless of whether one can be in Hong Kong, the other one in Japan, the other one in America, and possibly I in South Africa. We can conference, we can talk, and so this is one of the benefits that we really enjoy from a positive standpoint.
I
Yes.
think what you're saying is very important because now we live in a day and age where we
Yeah.
are scattered all over the world.
Yes.
But social media helps us to kind of feel like we are together or we are
Exactly,
close
yes.
by.
Yeah.
Yes, Liz.
I also like it because you get to know a lot of things before even the other so-called news and reporters will have said things. There's what we call now informal journalism, where people give it to you as it happens. You find there's something taking place, an earthquake is coming your way. Other countries, they are able to detect that, hey, watch out, Africa is going to be hit at such a place, Swaziland or South Africa. So before the news within South Africa or Swaziland tell you to be ready for such an earthquake, a friend or a relative out there is able to forewarn you that such days it's being predicted, and you are already forearmed through social media.
Actually, what you're saying is very true because I personally hardly watch formal news or read newspapers. But just following on social media, I'm able to keep up to date, well, partly with what's happening around me or in the world. Mike?
Yeah, one thing that we enjoy as family members
Mm.
is looking at each other's pictures. You know, there's a new arrival in the family, maybe in Australia, and they take pictures, they post that on WhatsApp or they post that on Facebook, and everything comes as it happens. So in the olden days, it would take you maybe months to see that new baby. A professional a cameraman will have to come take images. They go to studio, process it, and after that it comes back, you pay, and then you have to post it. And by the time you get to see your granddaughter or grandson, it's been 5 months
Yeah.
or sometimes 7 months down the line. But today, with social media, just on Facebook, hey, delivered. Sometimes they get pictures as the delivery is going on. You get to see the stages that. So it's quite fun to have social media, especially as far as family is concerned.
I happen to be
Yeah.
friends with
Yeah.
your daughter, and I couldn't afford to go to Australia for her wedding.
Yes.
But I managed to see some pictures on Facebook of her wedding and how
Exactly,
beautiful
yeah.
it was. So I got to experience that.
Yes.
So that's a good
Yes.
use of social media as well. Yeah.
Even some people who can create a discussion group.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to discuss some Bible concepts, a Bible study.
Mhm.
People are using social media in such a positive manner that discussions have now become so easy. You ask a question, and so many people within the group can give in their input, which makes it much easier to understand than where you need to go back and read your own Bible and you are not understanding it.
Yes.
So social media, these Facebook, Twitters and everything, they've really done a great job for people to discuss issues that pertain to their day-to-day lives and what they want to do.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I also like Skyping,
Right.
video calling. And this thing called diaspora, it has taken family members in every direction, and sometimes it takes a year before you can actually get to see one another and interact physically.
Or 10 years.
Or
for
10
some.
years.
Yeah.
Some have not met, I don't know how far back when. But when you get on social media and you are able to video conference, phone, and be able to discuss at least you get to know, oh, that guy is still there. Look at how they look and stuff like that. So thank God for technology.
One good thing for me about social media
Yeah.
is how people are able to, talk about causes or raise
Yeah.
funds for causes.
Yeah.
I've seen some people who raise funds for somebody who wants to go to school
Yeah.
Mm.
or for children who need a
Yes.
heart surgery. They
Yeah.
get there, they post it, and
Yes.
somebody just starts donating, and it
Yeah.
goes like that. So I
Yes.
think it's a very good way of using it
Yes.
as well.
And another thing is, for me and Liz, we are always running marriage workshops. We are running family life workshops and what have you. We don't have to go to some library, drive to go to some library to go and look at this book and that book. We just do it in the comfort of our home. You get the point. Just go to internet and then you can surf through to various service providers and you find yourself with information that you want.
And talking about your workshops, I'm sure you're able to do surveys as well
Yeah.
Yes.
on your
True.
on your pages
Exactly.
and get responses from people immediately.
Yes.
So
Immediately,
that's a
true.
good thing.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I want to say social media has come to make the global village being accessible in a much easier way. You are now able to even shop around in the
Yes.
comfort of your own home,
Yes.
and you don't need to go to a shop. You can just use your credit cards and things just move smoothly. And I like it because there is also room. If you don't like something, you can still send it back.
Yes.
So a lot has been made much easier with social media.
Actually, what you're saying, I know for us ladies now, we just go on our Facebook pages, you find somebody selling shoes, they're selling
Yeah.
hair pieces, they're
Yeah.
selling clothes, and it's very reliable. Well, most times,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good highlight for it, Mike.
I think before technology, it was very difficult sometimes to make friends. But
Yes.
like some of us, I don't know how many friends I have on Facebook. I'm sure there are over 4,000 friends. Look at the chat and the ministry I do on Facebook and how we get to interact with those guys. It's wonderful. It cuts this idea of loneliness. Sometimes you find you are working on this and you are interacting with people around the world. It makes you feel good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true. Anything
Yeah,
else
there are quite a lot of positives that
that we can cover.
we can
Yeah.
cover.
But I think
on
we can now
Facebook.
then look at, like I said in the very beginning, that with anything in life, there's pros and cons. And like you say,
Exactly.
we can go on
Yeah.
and on about the positives. But then now, moving on to the negative impacts. What's the negative impact specifically? Let's start with spouses.
Yeah.
Negative impact of social media on spouses.
It's saddening, Sunny, that today cell phones have become a challenge within married people, couples, where you find, as I'm sitting with Mike, he's sitting there chatting with maybe his girlfriend in my presence. And we have no time to actually interact physically on our own because straight from work we sit on a couch and someone is busy on their cell phone chatting and doing all sorts of things, and at the end of the day we are creating a gap between me and him simply because we are concentrating on social media
Right.
interactions.
Right, Mike?
Yes, I want to laugh over this. Liz is just making an illustration that Mike and his girlfriend, thank God I don't have one.
Mike
Right,
and his wife.
What I think, as a follow-up to what she's saying, I think a lot of people are getting addicted to social networks and social media to a point where they've lost control of this blessing God has given us. It is now taken over, and it is the one that now is in control. You find the guy is on their phone, as they get in the house, they continue like that, and they go to sleep even in bed up to sometimes 3 a.m. I don't know, whatever time. Somebody is still working on their group or whatever it is and so forth, chatting. I think we are getting to a point where we are having a new social challenge,
Right.
which is social media addiction.
You're not talking about that. Just a side thought.
Yes.
I think the other challenge is that we have friends or family members in different parts of the world, which means
Yeah.
different time zones.
Yes.
So sometimes maybe I'll get into bed and I want to sleep, and somebody in America is waking up, and then the group chat starts again.
Yes.
So
yes.
people have to try and make time to ensure that the group keeps
Yeah.
running. But
Yeah.
it can go badly because then your
Yeah.
day also runs down. You're tired by the time you wake up, but
Mm.
you're trying to maintain friendships as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the
Liz?
other negative impact
mm,
is seen whereby between parents within a family and their children, there is no more interaction that is very constructive. You find a child has schoolwork to be assisted by parents. They come to mom and say, Mom, I'm not understanding this question. How can I do it? I have school homework to do. And mom says, just hold on, I'll come back to you.
right.
And she's busy on the social media. The child goes to the father. Father is also busy looking maybe on a TV. And there is no time for the child to be given attention to do their schoolwork, homework. One child recently in one of the schools, when they were having the speech prize giving day, came up with a speech on how important a TV is. And she says, I wish I was a TV. Everyone will be sitting around me and watching, and all other things will be put aside.
Aw.
And I wish I was a cell phone where everyone will just be holding and playing their
Aw.
games and doing everything, because that is what is
Shame,
important.
yeah.
You know, it was heartbreaking to hear such a small young child
Mm.
expressing how social media has eroded the bonding and the important things that needs to be done.
Mm.
And children no longer feel belonging to their parents, and parents are hooked to their social media.
Mm.
So it has a negative impact if we don't control it.
Sure, Mike, anything else?
Yes, I still want to go back to couples where there is now possibly virtually a physical distance between husband and wife, because this one is addicted to their phone and the other one is addicted to there's a very little interaction. She's talking of interaction between children and parents, but another devastating loss of interaction is one that is taking place between husband and wife. You find you get into the house, this one is just by their corner looking at the phone, and the other one is looking at. So we tend to lose a physical intimacy.
Yeah.
While social media is beautiful, but we are losing that which is physical, that which is real to life. You can never replace a person. Your wife is your wife. You want them physical.
That's
You want
it.
that physical connection with them. Your husband is your husband. You want that physical connection with them. We cannot remain at a virtual level.
Right.
The physical world is still important to us today.
Yes.
And
I
talking
think,
of that
sorry, Liz, let me
also,
just cut you right there because we have to go to a break. But when we come back, we'll pick up your point.
Yes.
Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Family Matters. And today we're discussing social media. Liz, before we went to the break, we're discussing the negative impact on families and on children. Any other thoughts that you have on?
I'd wanted to go back to the addiction that Mike talked about within couples, mainly husbands and wife. There are so many people today who come from work and they say, I'm busy working on my computer, yet they are on a site of pornography. Pornography has become such a challenge between couples. Someone is now getting gratified just by watching pornography, and it's very negative. It's an addiction that can really devastate between husbands and wives.
Mm. You know, while you're talking about that, there's another issue that's come up lately of that of emotional cheating, if that's the way to put it, because you start sharing things that you should be sharing with your spouse with somebody else. Mike, anything to say about that emotional unavailability because of social media?
Emotional adultery possibly is you get emotionally fulfilled just by chatting with somebody that you are seeing maybe on a particular platform and what have you, and it brings closeness and you become fond of each other and you look forward to be doing it until, without you knowing, your love for your wife goes low and low and low. Your love for your husband goes low and low because you enjoy. There may be nothing physical, nothing sexual, but the mere fact that you enjoy the company, enjoy chatting with this particular person will possibly create what we call emotional data, because you then get fulfilled from that kind of interaction.
Right.
Yes.
Now, oh, Liz, sorry.
I wanted to say the other negative that we are seeing today is in the informal journalism, where you have people who are giving it as it is. Like I said, that it's a very good thing. But look, the negative part of it is, for example, you are walking through, you are driving and there comes an accident and people are dying. People, instead of giving help, instead of giving first aid, people are busy taking pictures. And the moment they take those pictures, they are flighting them on the social media platforms, where friends and relatives who are not informed properly will come to see, oh, my husband has just died, looking at the picture that has been put on this platform. And someone may react negatively.
Yes.
Because once they see that, they can get into a shock. People are no longer censoring information, what to put on whatever platform. Information is just flying
Back and
raw
forth,
as
yeah.
it is. And it can be very devastating. For, like an example I'm giving, we need to be able to realize that social media can also cause such challenges.
You know, while talking about censoring, I just think about how sometimes people can use social media as a diary
Yeah.
per se,
Yeah.
where your whole life becomes displayed on this platform to people who you think are friends, but really they're just people that you know or have met there.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary for you to display all of those things. So I don't know how we can safeguard ourselves from displaying private information on this platform. Mike, anything about that?
I think that has become a big challenge. We are no longer private people. Anything gets posted there, any profile just gets put over there. I think people need to be a rule unto themselves and be able to say, how much exposure can I put online? People are not saying put this, and people volunteer information, they put it over
Yes.
there. And for me, sometimes you discover, because you don't know who is asking for what information on social network. You find, can you put your password on this, and can you do this, can you do that, and whatever. And sometimes we find ourselves just diving into a pool of criminals, and you find your life simply changes by the kind of information that you have given over there. So I think people need to be a rule unto themselves.
Right.
You need your own discipline in terms of how far do I go by supplying information online.
Right.
And maybe talking on that,
That's fine.
you will find we have so many people today who give false profiles, because most of those profiles on the social media might not all be very real and true.
Yes.
You find people now get into friendships, and as they get into those friendships, they date, they court on the social media, and comes a time where they say, let's meet face to face. And these people have never met. And the only first time they are meeting, you find maybe you are in the hands of gang rapers who will rape you, and maybe you have been cheated and things don't go the way you thought they were going. So we are also experiencing this negativity on some social platforms where people don't even care. They're not even afraid to say, this person is saying, let's meet at such a place.
Yes.
And some of them, they are even young children who are even engaged in such type of activities.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult.
Wow.
I want to bring in another very pathetic situation that we are realizing today. You know, part of growing a child, they need to grow physically, emotionally, socially, intellectually.
Right.
But we are starving the physical domain a great deal because this 5-year-old, 3-year-old, 7-year-old, they are just glued on the television.
Right.
Now they are no longer engaged in physical exercise, running up and down on the mountain bike and going there, play soccer, do this and so forth. All they think about is after school, I am on my phone. After school, I'm on TV. This may result in obese children. This may result in cardiac challenges coming too early to children. Why? Because they are not physically exercised.
Right.
And I think we need to be worried over that as parents. Children need to run. Children need to be engaged in physical things and what have you, because that's part of their development.
You know what you're saying is something that's very important. I remember when I was growing up in Solusi College, which is in Zimbabwe,
Yes,
and we spent all day running back and forth in the streets.
exactly.
I went to visit some time back, and when I got there, the streets were empty.
Mhm.
I said, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to making friends
Yes,
on
yes,
the
yes.
streets? But anyways, just to move on, we've spoken about the positives and the negatives. Now we want to find out then the solutions, because here we're trying to
Yeah.
find solutions. How can we make our social media family friendly? Liz?
I think it's a deliberate decision
Mhm.
each family has to make. You need to sit down and to agree as to how we are going to term your social media.
Mm.
And as an individual, you can control yourself better than being controlled by anyone. So I am saying, try and avoid social media platforms that lead you into wrong behaviors, that leads you into addictions, especially when it is something that pertains your closeness, your intimacy with your spouse, or even time spent with your children. Make a deliberate effort, because it's you to control that and not to be controlled by social media.
Right. Mike?
I would like to suggest that families can have shared rules in terms of television time, in terms of the time we spend on the phone and when do we spend time on the phone. You need to share. We don't want the situation where one person downloads commands. In this house, you are not going to use a phone. In this house, you are not going to watch television. And I think families can see that's why we're a family. We're a
Right.
government of our own. We can agree, we can conference and come up with what we think is user-friendly for the family, and not necessarily for an individual,
Right.
but for the family at large. Let's agree on some norms and create our own culture of how to benefit from technology without it destroying and disrupting our interaction as a
Right.
family.
Right.
I think when it comes to social media, we need to be well informed, because the good part of information dissemination through social media can also be used negatively. So you need to be able, like Mike says, to put in information on social media that is constructive more than the information that is destructive. Even those that are making these platforms, I think it will do very well for them to consider the harm that is taking place, because I am sure most of them, they can even see what is happening.
Mm.
And if they are deliberately wanting to bring peace in families, they may also come up with platforms that have constructive information on
Ways
them.
of yes.
Yeah.
Mike, anything else?
Yes, I also want to look at it from a religious angle, and mainly the fact that we have people who go to extremes.
Mm-hmm.
They look at the television and say that is the devil's box. I don't want to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
We watch Hope Channel on TV.
Yes.
The very same box that somebody says is a devil's box,
And online as well.
and we watch it online. Are you
Yes.
getting the point? We go to sites and what have you. So technology was not invented by the devil. God has a plan to benefit humanity with this. So let's not go to extremes of I don't want television in my house. I don't want social networks. I don't want the phone. Children must not have a phone and what have you. I think that's going to extremes. We need a balance. Let us allow these things. Family members should enjoy interacting with their friends, chatting with their friends online or in any social network. You get the point.
Yes.
But we need to set limits.
Right.
Like I said earlier on, let's agree on some rules. Let's set limits, but let us allow family members to enjoy these things. That's why they're there.
You know, while you're talking about members, I want us to just zero in on individuals because you spoke about Christianity, about being a Christian.
Yes.
I think there's a way of behavior that's required from a Christian anyway in life.
Yes, yes,
And I'm sure that can be taken to social media as well.
yes,
How can myself as an Eliso, as a Christian,
yes.
conduct myself better on social media, please?
I think it starts even from the pictures that you send on the social media.
Yes,
As a
I agree
Christian,
with that.
Are these pictures depicting you to be a child of God? Because believe you me, there are people who send all sorts of pictures. They don't even care how they are looking. And even the talk, the language that you are putting as you communicate on social media, the jokes that you are doing, are they representing your values as a Christian? Because sometimes, like I said, time is stolen doing the wrong things when you're supposed to be doing the right thing.
Right.
Why not turn the social media, the advantage that you now have, to use it for the advantage more than the disadvantages? Why not enjoy and sell on the right mindsets of coming up with information or with charts that bring betterment in your life or in somebody's life
Yeah.
than talking things that are just destructive and that leads into wrong behaviors?
Right. Mike, any final thoughts?
Yes. I think when it comes to social media, we are in a race. They are the bad guys who are busy putting things there to pollute our world. Where are the Christians? Where are the religious people? Where are the good guys? Let us also put things on the social media to counteract so that at the end of the day, people have got options to choose than to simply mystify social media and think that is not our platform. That is our platform as believers. Let us share Christ. Let us share our faith on that. On that particular. That's how we can also do ministry as Christians.
You know, by beholding, you become changed. If you watch the wrong things, you become the wrong thing.
I'll have to stop you right there, Liz, but that's a very good point to stop at. I wish we had more time to discuss these matters, but unfortunately, time is never on our side. We have come to the end of our program, but thank you so much for staying with us. If you have any questions or views, please feel free to contact Liz and Mike using the details on the screen, and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.